Hi guys, I'm Mostly Villain and welcome back to our bid to find baseball's greatest team. Today, the first of the National League quarterfinals. It is the 1980 Philadelphia Phillies, who got over quite comfortably the Montreal Expos of 1994, I think, of the Expos. And then it is the Rockies of 2007, who sprung a big upset, knocking out the 75 Reds. 75 Reds, I think it was, last time out. So, this is going to be an interesting one. The 1980 Phillies went 91 and 71 in their regular season. The Rockies of 2007 went 90 and 73. So very, very similar regular season records for the two. So it might be an interesting game, this one. It's a one-off game, modern era strategy, World Series rosters of 25 men. And if not World Series, and I believe it is opening day, because I don't think this is Rockies team make the World Series. I can't remember now. Anyway, injuries are disabled. Let's go check these rosters. And they are here with their regular season stats for the season that they're from. So if you want to have a bit of a longer look, by all means, pause, zoom in, and have a look around me. And otherwise, let's go and have a look at the starting lineups. And here they are here. So leading off the Phillies, it is Lonnie Smith in left field. It is Pete Rose at first base, batting second. It's a 39-year-old Pete Rose. Bake McBride in right field bats 3. Mike Schmidt is cleaning up at third base. Then it is Manny Trillo at second base batting 5. Greg Maddux in center field bats 6. It is Raymond Aviles at shortstop batting 7. Bobby Boone catches at 8. And Steve Colton is the starting pitcher. Then for the Rockies, Willie Tavares in center field opens things up. Or leads off, I guess, if I don't use a cricket term. It is Todd Helton at first base batting 2nd. Brad Horpy at right field bats 3. Matt Holliday cleans up in left field. Garrett Atkins at third base bats 5. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop bats 6. It is Yoivit Torelba. We'll go with something like that anyway. Bats 7 and is catching. Jamie Carroll is at second base. He bats 8. And Jeff Francis is the starting pitcher. The starting pitcher matchup doesn't look great, but I said that last time about the Rockies, didn't I? This team, there's something about them, I think. So let's see if that can continue into the quarterfinals. So Lonnie Smith will lead things off. It's going to be a full count when we get there. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, because I didn't think the Rockies have never won a World Series, have they? So their greatest team of all time was obviously not going to be considered, perhaps one of the greatest teams of all time. Pete Rose gets one through. And suddenly, with none out, we have runners at the corners, and the Rockies might be about to find a bit of a talent deficit here. Bake McBride. But yeah, it's sort of one of these things, isn't it, where sometimes the great teams, or the best teams through a regular season aren't always the championship sides. There's something, there's something extra that the great sides have that allows them to not coast through a regular season, but maybe, not necessarily top a division or get to 100 and something game wins. But when they get to, sort of the money games, then they turn it on kind of thing. So you just wonder if maybe this Rockies side is one of those sides that is just good enough. It's quite deep, and it's not going to be deep enough. And they will end at the first, so they get away with it. Phillies are scoreless, and Tavares will now lead things off. And it's a 1-1 pitch. But yeah, we'll see, obviously, the longer that the series goes. It's what makes it great, isn't it? Because, who would have picked the Yankees to go out in the first round? And, there's a couple of other big upsets as well. Helton with a 2-2 pitch. Slaps it down into left field, but it'll be caught. And that will be 2 away. But certainly, you look at some of the attributes of these Rockies players, and although it wasn't a championship-winning side, it's a good team, isn't it? It is pitching perhaps that lets them down, but then playing in Colorado, pitching isn't really ever going to be a strong point, is it? So it's 2 out for Halladay now. It's a 1-2 pitch. Halladay strikes out looking, and we are scoreless through 1. Francis to continue to Maddux, and it is an 0-2 pitch. And it is 1 away. Goes down looking, in comes Aviles at full count. And that is going to drop in, is it? No, it is straight into second baseman's glove. So 2 away, Bobby Boone, a 2-1 pitch. And that is going to be out at first. And that'll do it for the top of the second. Much more regulation, that one, for the Rockies. And Atkins will lead things off. It's a 1-2 pitch. And Atkins strikes out 1 away. In comes Tulowitzki. One of those names just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Assuming I'm saying it correctly, which I'm probably not. He draws a walk. So 1 on, 1 out for Torrealba. And that's a loose one, but catcher does enough. So runner will stay at first. Full count now. That looks high. And 2 on, 1 out for Jamie Carroll. It's a 2-2. Carroll, nowhere near it. So that is 2 away now. So the pitcher, Jeff Francis, comes in. Can he do anything? No is the answer, and we will go to the top of the third, tied at 0. There's one of those that must have been a part of the manager's brain. Think, do I pitch hit here? So it's Carlton to lead things off, and he strikes out as well. So that's 1 away. In comes Lonnie Smith. He walked first time up. First pitch this time, and Smith grounds it to the third baseman. That is 2 away. And that'll bring up Pete Rose, who is 1 for 1. The only hit so far for the Phillies. It's a 1-0 pitch. And Pete Rose has a second hit now as he drops that in front of the left fielder. So a 2-out single. And it's Bake McBride, 0 for 1 today. It's a 1-2 pitch. McBride strikes out. That looked a good pitch, didn't it? And that'll do it for the top of the third. Still scoreless, and Tavares will lead things off again. He is 0 for 1. First pitch. And Tavares grounds it to the third baseman for 1 away. Alright, it is Todd Helton, 0 for 1. A 2-1 pitch. Todd Helton has popped it up into left field again. So he got out first time around, wasn't it? So that is 2 out now for Horpy, who is 1 for 1. An 0-2 pitch. Horpy, has he got another hit? No, again, it's just floating up. And centre field makes a simple catch to end the third. So scoreless through 3. Smith will lead things off. He's 0 for 1. It's a 3-1 pitch even. And it's going to be a walk. So leadoff man aboard for Manny Trillo now, who's 0 for 1. First pitch. That is a double play ball if I ever saw one. And that will be indeed 2. So 2 out. None on, and Maddox to the plate. He is 0 for 1. It's a 2-1 pitch. And Maddox to the shortstop. Oh, it's through the shortstop. And it's going to be a 2-out single. So another hit for the Phillies. And Aviles, maybe. Anyway, whatever it is, he's out at first. And that'll do it for the top of the fourth. So, can the Rockies do anything? Holiday even to lead things off. It's a 2-2 pitch. And Holiday doesn't like being confused with Roy Halladay, and he has sent that into the Rocky Mountains. So it's 1-0 to the Rockies, 456 feet. And are we going to see the Rockies go through another tie? We have the Rays on the other side of the draw, don't we? Causing some upsets. The Rays of 2008, and are we going to have a 2007 Rockies doing a similar thing amongst the National League? So a walk to bring Tulowitzki up, a 1-0. Tulowitzki into left field. That's going to be a hit. Runner will stop at second. So none out, 2 on. And Torrealba at the plate, who walked, I think, first time around. This time he strikes out, so that is 1 away. Brings up Jamie Carroll, who is 0 for 1. Full count. Carroll punches it into right field. It might add a run, or as runner is going. Is he going to get there? Yes, he is. And Carroll delivers an RBI single. It is 2-0 to the Rockies. 1 out. Runners at first and second for Jeff Francis. Can he lay down a bunt and move the runners on? That's what he's going to try and do. And it looks like he's done it successfully. So it'll be Tavares now with a chance, with runners at second and third, to extend the lead further. He needs to put the ball in play in the outfield, doesn't he? A 1-1 pitch. Tavares, he's done it! He knocks it down into right field. That'll score 2. And the 2 RBI single from Tavares makes it 4-0 in the fourth to the 2007 Rockies. Todd Helton now, who's 0 for 2. A 2-2 pitch. Helton fouls it back. And does he reach? So did he? No, he kind of fouled it back. He must have. He's just missed it, and so has the catcher. So he's struck out on first base for Horpy now. 2 on, 2 out, a 1-0 pitch. And Horpy gets one through. Is it going to cost them a run? You've got to go with 2 out, and he does get there, and it does cost them a run. It is 5-0. Now, we know the Rockies' pitching isn't maybe the greatest, and Holiday, who started this inning off in style, will end it with a bit of a whimper, in truth. So that is that. We go to the 5th. It is 5-0. Can the Phillies come back? Bob Boone will lead things off. He's 0 for 1. It's a first pitch swing. And Boone has hit one out into left field for a leadoff single. In comes Greg Lazinski, who is pinch hitting. So Colton out of the game. And Lazinski pops one up. So that'll be one out. It'll be a runner at first. And it'll be Lonnie Smith to the plate, who's 0 for 1. First pitch. Smith grounds it to the first baseman. Is it a double play? It is very nicely worked. And this Rockies side are looking the business. Ron Reed is a new man on the mound. He will face Garrett Atkins, who is 0 for 1. It's going to be a 1-0 pitch. Atkins has got one into right field, but he'll be caught, and that'll be 1-0. In will come Tulowitzki, who's 1 for 1 with, I think he had a walk, didn't he? It's a 2-2 pitch. And Tulowitzki to the first baseman. That'll be 2-0. And it'll bring up Torelba, who is 0 for 1. A 1-0 pitch. Torelba sends one straight up in foul territory. Catcher makes the play. And that'll do it for the 5th. So still 5-0. The Phillies will bat in the 6th. Francis will continue to Pete Rose, who is 2 for 2. It is an 0-2 pitch. And Rose, has he got another hit? No, that's going to float up and be caught by the right fielder for 1-0. McBride now, who is 0 for 2. It's a 1-2 pitch. McBride swings through it. That is 2-0. And it brings Mike Smith to the plate. 0 for 1. It's a 3-1 pitch. And they're somewhat pitching around him, aren't they? Which makes sense, I guess. You've got a lead. You've got an open first base. Why wouldn't you? Manny Torillo now. 0 for 2. It's a 3-0. We don't want to pitch around everybody. So suddenly, 2 on, 2 out. And it's Greg Maddux, who is 1 for 2. First pitch. Maddux. And they're going to get away with it again. So the Phillies are scoreless through 6. The Rockies have a 5-run lead. And it is Carroll to lead things off. He is 1 for 2. It's still Reed on the mound. It's an 0-1 pitch. And Carroll has punched it into right field for a leadoff single. Alright. Pinch hit time. It is Matsui who is pinch hitting. So that'll do it for the starting pitcher, who goes 6 scoreless innings. Francis, wasn't it? Matsui strikes out looking. Tavares now comes in. He is 1 for 3 with a 2 RBIs, of course. He strikes out there, though. So Helton, who's 0 for 3. Runner at first, 2 out. And have they picked him off? They've tried to. They've missed. And we'll have a runner at second now. So Helton, with a ball in play in the outfield, could extend the lead here, a 1-1. Helton, no, he's popped it straight up. And that'll do it for the 6th. Still, though, it's going to be 5-0 going into the 7th. Can the Rockies bullpen get it done? That's the big question hanging over this one. And it is Manny Corpus onto the mound to face Aviez, who is 0 for 2. It is a 2-2 pitch. And it is a strikeout, 1-0. In comes Bobby Boone, who is 1 for 2. An 0-1 pitch. Boone back to the pitcher, just past him actually to the second baseman. And that will be out at first, so 2-0. And it brings Larry Boa into pinch hit. A 1-0 pitch. And Boa grounds it to the second baseman. And that'll do it. We stretch. The Rockies are looking good at this point, aren't they? Alright, welcome back. Hoppy's at the plate to lead the innings off. It is Kevin Saucier at the plate, at the mound, sorry. An 0-2 pitch. And that is, there was some sauce on that one. As a bad pun would say, isn't it? It's Holiday. It's a first pitch swing. Holiday has been caught, or he will be caught in right field, so that's 2-0. And that'll bring up Atkins, who is 0 for 2. It's a 1-2 pitch. And Atkins grounds it to the first baseman. Pitcher covers. And that'll do it for that. Nice and quick. To the 8th. It is still 5-0 to the Rockies. Lonnie Smith will lead things off. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. It's a 1-2 pitch. He strikes out. Good pitch as well, that one, wasn't it? 1-0. Pete Rose, who is 2 for 3. A 1-2 pitch. He strikes out. 2-0. The Phillies can just get nothing going here. McBride. He is 0 for 3. It's a 1-0 pitch. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop. And the Phillies are going to need a bit of a ninth inning miracle here. And I've got to say, if you had told me the Rockies are going to win this, I would have thought run fest. You know, it's just a run fest because the Rockies pitching isn't good enough. As Tulowitzki lines it to the shortstop for 1 away. Torrealba now is 0 for 2. 2-2 pitch. And that is going to be a base hit into right field. So 1 out, 1 on. Can the Rockies add some insurance runs? Jamie Carroll, who is 2 for 3. A full count on him. Carroll draws a walk. 2 on, 1 out. Do they pinch hit? They do. It's Corey Sullivan coming in. A 2-1 pitch. Sullivan into right field. That's going to be caught. I don't know if it's deep enough to get the runner over to third. It is. It is. So, a ball in play. A base hit will score a run here. It's Willie Tavares, who is 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. It's a 1-2. Tavares watches it. But we go to the 9th, and the Phillies need a minor miracle here. It is Jeremy Affeldt on the mound to try and close it down. Smith will lead things off. He's 0 for 1. He's been walked 2 or 3 times already. And that'll be another one. I don't know if I agree with that. Surely, you just, worst case scenario, hits a home run, you give up 1 run. I would have thought you take that. Anyway, Manny Trillo, a 2-0. He hits it into center field. That's going to be caught. So that's 1 away with a man at first. And in comes Gary Maddox, who is 1 for 3. It's a full count. Maddox hits it into center field. That's going to be caught. The Phillies down to their final out. Are the 2007 Rockies, are they going to do it again? It's a Viez. He's 0 for 3. It's an 0-1 pitch. It's a ground ball. No, it's not. It's lined straight past the third baseman. And there will be 2 on, 2 out. It's still not enough. Even a home run now isn't enough. It's Bobby Boone, who's 1 for 3. First pitch. Boone grounds it to the shortstop, and that'll do it. Surely the 2007 Rockies have knocked out the 1980 Philadelphia Phillies. They go on. So can anybody stop the Rockies? The Reds couldn't, the Phillies couldn't. Next up, it'll be the winner of the 2019 Nationals and the 1997 Marlins. Maybe one of them. Maybe the Marlins could do it. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? They go on to the semifinals. They are now just, 1-2 wins away from getting to the World Series, the all-time World Series. So, I mean, would you back against them at this point? It's a big question, isn't it? So that's that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one, the Nationals and the Marlins. Until then, guys, I've been OzzyVille, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.